So now that you have a portfolio full of stocks, when is the right time to sell them? There's no shortage of information on the internet on how to buy stocks and various other strategies. But did you know that when it comes down to selling a stock, it's equally as important as buying one? Because with selling, you have to consider several risks. Consider when you're going to need the money and consider the time horizon. And this is a very challenging decision. So in this video, we will address that topic. There is no one size fits all strategy for selling a stock, but there are 3 things that should be considered, and I'm going to mention these things before I go into the reasons. These things include the time horizon, the risk tolerance, and your investment strategy / your financial goals. Time horizon is very critical when purchasing your stock. Before an investor buys a stock, they must decide when they're going to want to sell. So, for example, if you're buying for the short term, for less than a year, you might sell your stock as soon as the stock appreciates in value. While if you're buying and holding, you might hold the stock for a very long period of time. So that dictates when you sell your stock also. Risk tolerance is a level of risk each investor is willing to take for each particular investment. So this is the second critical thing you must understand before I go into my reasons. For example, US risk-free treasury bonds are considered safe as long as they are held until their maturity. That means if you're buying this particular bond, you have to hold it until a particular period of time. While if you're just buying stocks or a mixture of stocks and bonds, you can decide when to buy and when to sell. The third critical factor to consider before I go into my reasons when you sell a stock is your investment strategy. Let's say you're a day trader and you buy a stock this morning and you're just looking for a quick appreciation. As soon as this stock appreciates, if it appreciates 1 hour later, you might sell that stock. While if you're a buy and hold long-term investor, you can hold a stock for 20 years. So investment strategy is a key reason to sell a stock. Reason number 1, when you're adjusting your portfolio, you know that at times you can become heavily concentrated in one area. So from time to time, you might want to diversify a bit. So you might sell some stocks and invest in other areas of the stock market. So that's one reason why you do this. Because you know, various stocks have different risk. You have systematic risk and unsystematic risk. You have to consider these things when you're investing in your stocks. Reason number 2, freeing up some capital. So investors sell their stocks so that they can free up some money. They could use this money to finance a business, pay down on a house, or marriage, or for some medical expenses. So reason number 3 is when a stock hits the price target. So some investors, what we do is that we set a price target that a stock must reach, and once it reaches that particular target, you can start to sell the stocks, or you can ease out of the position by reducing the amount of shares or the size of your position. So that's one reason. Reason number 4 is changing fundamentals. So as an investor, sometimes we invest in turnaround companies. Those are companies that are done for a particular reason. But sometimes as a human, you can make errors. So things can happen that a product or the company can become very uncompetitive, and this might mean that you may have misjudged, so you sell your position because it's a change in fundamentals and it is not as valuable as you first thought. Reason number 5 is opportunity cost. So, if an investor can identify an investment product or stocks with greater return, that could be a reason to sell because you can gain much more in something else. Reason number 6 is change in ownership or a merger. So these factors can affect the valuation of a company, and it could be a good time to hold, but it also could be a good time to sell depending on certain factors. Reason number 7 is technical signals. So for investors and traders who know about technical analysis, you can use charting patterns, price movements, and indicators to determine a predetermined price target to sell. For example, traders can use Fibonacci retracements, Bollinger Bands, simple moving averages, and these are just some of the indicators that traders and investors can use to know when to sell. And my final reason, a bonus reason, is for tax purposes. So investors can sell stocks for tax purposes. Regarding this, contact your accountant or your tax professional. Selling stocks is like buying. It has to be in line with your investment strategies and your financial goals. So consider the time horizon and the risk tolerance. Tell me in the comments why you would sell your stock right now. Remember to subscribe, like, and share with a friend.